is that the good news is that I am no longer dead in my sins, but I'm alive. I'm no longer the way I was. I have been set free. I was a mess, and now I've been transformed. I was addicted, and now I'm free. I was full of hatred, and now I'm full of love and grace. You're different because of the perfect work of God's Son, Jesus Christ. And the second thing I want you to consider with me tonight is I want you to consider the resurrection. That's what's so important about this day. What does the resurrection matter? Jesus was miraculously conceived. He was born of a virgin. He did not inherit the sin nature of an earthly father. He was completely without sin. Jesus lived the perfect life for us. On the cross, he became sin for us. He suffered horribly. He was beaten and scourged and nailed to a wooden cross and hung between two thieves. But see, that was Friday. It's no longer Friday. Because the resurrection happened, Jesus is no longer in that grave. On the cross, creation mocked the Creator. They spit on him and hurled insults at him and beat him beyond recognition. Jesus looked up to heaven and said, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they're doing. What kind of grace is that? What kind of love that says, I should forgive these people who are abusing me? And in the end, at the end of it all, Jesus says, it is finished. Into your hands I commit my spirit. That was a cry of victory, folks. And as he breathed his last and gave his life, the moment he did, the earth went dark, the ground trembled. The Roman centurion, who was not even a follower of Jesus, but saw the love, saw his heart, saw his mercy, saw who he was, saw how he looked on and said, I don't believe. I didn't believe before, but I believe now. Surely this man was no ordinary man. Surely this man was the Son of God. And just as Jesus predicted, I will give my life, and 3 days later I'll rise from the dead. 3 days later, led by Mary Magdalene, they go to the tomb where he was buried. The stone was rolled away, and he wasn't there. Notice something, folks. The stone wasn't rolled away so Jesus could get out. The stone was rolled away so we could get in. So that we could see that he had risen. Peter, who had just denied it, first time they came up and said, well, he rose again. All the Romans had to do was pull out the body and say, look, here he is, he's dead, he's not risen. And that would have killed Christianity in its grave, in its cradle. That would have been the end of it. But they couldn't. You know why? Because they didn't have the body. And then some want to say, well, you know, that his disciples came and they beat up the Roman guards, and they rolled away the 2,000-pound stone by themselves, unarmed, and stole the body. Now, let me ask it this way. We're talking about 11 Roman soldiers. Romans did everything in tens. And you had a leader. So if they sent one squad, there would have been 10 soldiers. 10 highly armed, professional Roman soldiers. With a centurion overcharged, he would have been the squad leader. Commander of 10. Now, you really think 11 fishermen, a doctor, a tax collector, powered a squad of professional Roman soldiers armed so they could steal the body and the Roman soldiers didn't report it? I'll tell you something. If Rome had been attacked by a group of men who actually overpowered them, they'd have ransacked that city, trying to find people who rebelled against the Roman Empire. Those men wouldn't have lived a week. None of that happened. More importantly, do you really think any rational person would believe that 11 average, uneducated men, the only one who had an education was was Luke, and he was a doctor, devised this scheme, pulled it off, kept it secret, all at tremendous personal cost, cheated the world to become a better place all at the same time? No, he said they're witnesses of this, and they had other witnesses. At the time that Acts was written, he talks about 500 other people saw Jesus alive after the resurrection. And the thing is, it happened so soon after the crucifixion. They died because they saw it. The only one who remained living was John, and he was exiled to the island of Patmos, where he died alone in his old age. You know, my favorite of that group is a guy named Thomas. Thomas the doubter. Thomas is a lot like I was. Thomas needed proof. A lot of you are like that. We want to believe, but you're just not sure, and you need just a little bit more convincing. And so he said, I want to see, I want to touch, I want to know. And Jesus said, here, you can touch the wounds in my arm, and the wounds in my hands, and the wound in my side. Thomas got what he needed. You know that Thomas the doubter took the gospel to India. He was the first missionary to India. Took the gospel, became the first evangelist to India. That's how much a doubter believed. When they said, Thomas, deny your faith and we'll let you live, but if you stand by Jesus, we're going to kill you. You know what Thomas the doubter said? I will never deny the faith of the one who died and rose again for me. I will stand by him for the rest of my life. Be right with God by placing our faith in Jesus Christ. Here God says, we are made right with God by placing our faith in Jesus Christ. And this is true for everyone who believes, no matter who we are. Romans 3:22. Notice what it doesn't say. It doesn't say we're made right with God by being good enough, not by being made bad, and by not being bad, by not saying good words, by not yelling at our kids, by not getting in a car with our wife on the way to Easter church and yelling at each other. Yeah. We're made right with God by one thing only, our faith in Jesus Christ. Here's what Paul said. We're made right with God by placing our faith in Jesus Christ. It's true by everyone who believes. He did it all. But God loved me enough that he did it all, that I just want to obey him. Religion says, if I obey God, maybe he'll love me. But God loves me so that I can obey. I worship the risen King because of what he did for me on a cross 2,000 years ago. Not because of what I've done, because of what he's done. Let's close in prayer. Father, we stand in